I have to share this with the world because we've got it all wrong. It's all backwards. And it's time for us to know what's important. Tonight, I went to my parents' home. And they had thrown me out, and I had been homeless. And I don't talk to them anymore, and I refuse to deal with them. For many circumstances, it all came together, and I ended up back there. Circumstances I'm not going to go into. Just say I ended up back there, and they threw me out. So anyways, I went there to get my stuff tonight. I was homeless for a year. So I went to my old street in Oakville, Ontario. The houses are probably worth around $1 million. When I was on the street, I had visions of people, opening up their homes, their beds, or if not that, at least giving me some money, or if not that, some food, or a visit, or a tea or a coffee, or a call, or a text message. I got nothing. And these are people I spent my whole life with, Christmases and Thanksgivings and all these feasts and gifts and all these things, all these birthdays, all these. And when I was on the street, they didn't even text me, most of them. These people I saw tonight, they texted me once. So anyways, I was not friendly when I had to see these people last time. They acted all kind to my face and caring and, oh, we're so happy to see you. Oh, you're so happy to see me. But when I had nothing and no one, and God knows what could have happened to me, where were you? You could have emailed me. You could have tracked me down. It's not that hard. Anyways, so here's my story. I went there tonight, and I thought that my family was not going to be home. One of my family members was home, and I didn't know what to do because I hadn't expected it. It was really cold out. It's winter. It's at night, and I'm like, shit. So I'm like, you know what, maybe this is a no-go, because I was going to get the key from the neighbor. They were going to let me in. I don't talk to my parents. I just talk to them about logistics if I need to get my things. That's it. So I said, okay, someone's home. I don't want to see them, but I said, you know what, fine, whatever. So I rang the bell. You know what, someone was home. But they didn't open the door. They didn't open the door. So I was stranded outside in the cold. So I said, okay, I'll knock on my neighbor's door and ask them for the key. Anyways, sorry I'm going into too much detail. This person started to scream at me how late it was, and because I had been disrespectful to him when he saw me, and I mentioned that I wasn't friendly, and he started to scream at me, and I screamed back. I wasn't going to take a shit. He told me that I was entitled. This person who lives in $1 million home is very wealthy. I'm talking like millions. And I was on the street for a year. No how you doing, no text, no coffee, no meal, no bed, nothing. One text. Imagine if it was his kid. One text. And this man screamed at me that I'm entitled. So let's fast forward. I don't know what to do now. My neighbor's calling the police. The man's screaming at me. I scream back. She decides I'll call the police. That's great. That's the second person to call the police. People next to them that threw me out with the police. It's funny how today's age, I guess when people don't want to deal with problems, or they want to milk their status in society as rich or as respectable or whatever, they'll just call the police. And then, they have the home, right? And they're this and they're that, and I'm me. So you know who the police are going to side with in that situation, right? Not saying all cops are bad, but cops aren't bad. But there's definitely this ridiculous notion that anytime anybody does the slightest thing, like drops something or screams, or God forbid, they don't act like perfect robots, you call the cops. It's insane how many things you can sue people over today and what you can call the cops over. It's like, oh my gosh. So anyways, I said, okay, I'm going. That's it. So I leave. And man, my phone is dead. I get to a cafe. They're closing soon. They're so kind. They let me charge my phone. They give me a tea for free. And they let me sit there, and I'm like, you know what I mean? The kindness out there. And so I find out, I finally get the phone up and running. I find out that there are no more buses or trains running to my city where I live in, which is like a few cities away. In fact, they're not running till Monday, 3 days away, because I think there was an accident or something. Okay. I'm like, well, shit. Okay, there's a Tim Hortons open all night, 24 hours, so I'll go there. Okay. So I leave, I get to the Tim Hortons, they're closed. It's freezing outside. Holy shit, it's freezing outside. It's midnight. I'm already cold from walking there. My neighbors just called the cops. I was called entitled. I rang the doorbell and the person just ignored me. The buses aren't working. My phone's dead. I go in the window. The drive-through is open. I say, please, Please help me. I just need to charge my phone. Just need to warm it up and charge it so I can make a call to a cab. She says, okay. She let me in. You know how many people would have said, sorry, it's company policy, or they say, I can't, I just can't. I hate that. I just can't. Well, she didn't do that. She let me in, even though she's not supposed to. For such kindness. Then, I go, can I afford this taxi? Shit, $70. Hey, you know what? Whatever. I gotta get home. I can't stay here, and the money will come. Somewhere the money will come. It's okay. So they give me a flat rate. The guy is on the phone's nice enough. He said, I'll give you a flat rate. So, and he brings it down a few bucks for me. I'm like, wow, thank you. So my cab driver comes up. His name's Reza. Reza starts asking me about my situation. I tell him about my night, how it's been going. It's like, oh man. He's like, do you want something? Did you have a tea? Did you have a Did you get a coffee? He was like, wait a second, the place was closed. Did you get a coffee? I was like, well, no, because he's like, you didn't. You should have told me. Reza, my cab driver, all you Ubers out there, oh Uber, screw taxis. They're dirty. They're this. They're that. Yeah. Well, I got news for you. Reza goes out of his way, off of the highway, to try to find a Tim Hortons to give me a cup of coffee. If we find one, he doesn't. He goes. He sees. Oh, maybe is a gas station. The gas station doesn't have it, and he goes searching some more. We get to there. He doesn't even get anything for himself. He offers me food. He has chips in his bag. Then he asked me, what about your situation? What about your work? I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to tell people all my suffering, and I don't say more than I have to. I try to say it in an empowering way and not in a in a weakening way. And so I started telling him things that had happened. I got sick. I had to stop, the relationship broke down, and ending up with my parents, and et cetera, and being homeless for a year. And he tells me things, he tells me I have such a good heart, and that I'm pure, and that, I don't want to hurt anybody, and that he starts saying all these good things to me. He starts telling me that I'm a good person. And he starts telling me that I'm good. When he found out about the being homeless thing, he starts saying, Can I give you some clothes? I'm going to put a care package for you. He says, take my number. He starts calling me. He has 4 kids. Okay? And he drives a taxi, okay? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's good. It's work. It's work. It's serving others. It's service. And in fact, someone in my family who drives Uber helps me afford the place I'm living in. Think about that. One family member, who reached out and helped. Actually 2 out of maybe 16. So anyways, Reza takes my number, and then he says he's gonna give me a care package with clothes and all this stuff. I said, oh no, can't. Even just going over a coffee would be nice. Whereas I said, this is enough. You're enough, right? Like you're giving me all these compliments and you're being kind, and he starts telling me that, I told him things that happened with my family. He starts telling me, look, we all make mistakes. We all, it's not about who we were yesterday. It's about who we are today. It's today that matters, and tomorrow. He was wise, wiser than a lot of, smart people who go to school and sound really smart, but it's people like that they really know they know the truth. They know the truth, and that's what's important. And the simple people know it. And so anyways, in the end, I said, thank you, Reza. I said, look, people out there who I don't even know have been kinder to me than my own family. And he gets out of the car, and he says, I'm going to hug you. He gives me a big hug. And he says, here, this is the least I can do. He gives me $5. I leave. He helps me with my bag. He blesses me, hugs me. He says, bows, glad to be of service. He waves, he makes sure I get in okay, and then he drives away like an angel. I'm standing there with my bag and coffee and $5 from my cab driver. And a man who was standing in $1 million home after I'd been homeless for a year and not seen him but once. He stands there screaming at me that I'm entitled. He's screaming, standing in his $1 million home, screaming at me that I'm entitled. That I'm entitled. I'm entitled. I was homeless for a year. He's got millions of dollars. And when I'm poor and shut out in the cold at night, he swears at me and tells me that I'm entitled. Calls me entitled. And then my cab driver, who supports a full family, driving a taxi. It's honest work, but it's not millions of dollars, obviously. He offers me clothing, food. He gives me money. He gives me coffee. He gives me compliments and positivity. He hugs me and blesses me. And do you know what? That's who I want to be with. Sure, prosperity is great. Sure, abundance is great. But that's who I want to be with. That's what matters. We've got it all wrong. The rich are poor. And the poor are rich. Those who are in heaven are in hell. Hell. And those who suffer are in heaven. You want the Beatitudes? There they are. Live in the flesh. 2019, still true. Still true. We've got it backwards. It's about love. It's about service. It's about loving your fellow man. It's about doing God's work, doing God's will. It's about the truth. It's simple. It's not complex. It's not haughty. It's good. Good people. And that's what I live for. I live for you. I live for the people that don't have a lot, but will share the shirt off their back. My uncle literally gave me his shirt off his back. And I've got people in my family who got houses with empty rooms and money you couldn't believe. And the people who have the least, they give the most. And you are the ones that God cares about. You are the ones that are the apple of God's eye. You're the jewels. You're the jewels. You're the treasure. You're the treasure. The ones that no one looks at and passes by. They try to buy suits and they chase these stupid things. It doesn't matter. What matters is love. What matters is a family. And we're all a family. And if you have truth in your heart and you love God and you love people, you serve them, and you have a good heart, then you're in heaven. You're already counted for. And you who chase ash and rubbish, and piece by piece you build your tomb. You care about the stupid things that will disintegrate. You who don't care about your fellow man, it's Jacob Marley. It's Jacob Marley. It's Jacob Marley. That's what it is. Do you understand? Do you understand? Jacob Marley. He built his chain link by link and yard by yard. And he's come to warn Scrooge that he better shape up and repent. Because if he doesn't, he's not going for a good place. Because when the reaper comes, a good who's so good will yield. The good who's so good will reap a multifold, 10 times what they sow in goodness, 10 times. And those who reap bad will have it beyond your fucking wildest fucking dreams.